and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God?
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
When Barack Obama was elected President of these United States, it was a seminal moment in American history, one that every person who understands history was certain would make a forever impact on this nation. But as we reach the end of another Black History Month, we are forced to re-examine that impact and wonder if the people who need to understand how we move forward are actually paying attention. Always a pleasure to welcome into MidPoint civil rights activist, the founder of King for America, former politician, director of the African American Outreach Priests for Life, and niece of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., Alveda King joins us. Alveda, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Hello, Ed. It's great to greet you today as well.
Let's discuss right off the bat the president's impact as we close out this Black History Month. In your opinion, as we look at what the president does now, where he's been, what he stands for, has he brought this racial divide closer together, or has he only made it even greater in his 6 years?
The president has not really addressed the racial divide, and that's a tremendous disappointment. And also, as you opened up with the fact about the Constitution of the United States, how many school children, African American children, all children, don't understand the Constitution, don't understand what equal rights really means, that all people, regardless of skin color, should have equal access, equal opportunity, and equal treatment, you see? And so our young people are not getting that. The example of the president should have been to strengthen the constitutional awareness for young people, and that really has not happened in a way that we perhaps hoped it might have.
What is the worst thing, or what is the one thing that the president really missed doing, in your opinion, that would have helped to shrink this divide?
You might be surprised, but I believe that since the president signs off on $2 million a day for Planned Parenthood to get tax dollars, he could have put that $2 million a day towards education, housing. My daughters don't need more abortions or birth control. They need good education, good housing, good job opportunities. And I believe that he missed that opportunity. With Restore the Dream 2015, that's an initiative that I've been working on since we last talked. And we are talking about access, opportunity, building strong communities. And, we could start with teaching constitutional studies again in school.
But the funny thing is, the president is the one who will come out and say, I'm the one out here creating jobs. I'm the one out here making it possible for people of all color to go to work. Yet here you are right now, as we discuss, saying that he hasn't done a very good job. So where's the disconnect here? Somebody's got to be lying, or let's put it this way, not telling the entire truth somewhere in this conversation.
There are so many people, not only African American, especially men, who are either unemployed or underemployed, and they're no longer reporting that they're not employed. Their unemployment checks have run out and they've decided to go and do something else, or there are multiple incomes, people moving back into the house together to support themselves. And so I know in the African American community, access to good jobs has not really happened to a great extent under this president. I know that.
Then what can be done to blunt that then, Alveda? What is it that needs to be done either from the Republican side or from within the Democratic Party to fix this before it gets even worse?
I believe that we've got some elections coming up. There has to be accountability. We have to clearly know what to ask for from elected officials and those who want to be elected. Some people in the African American community were so excited that President Obama had brown skin that they forgot to ask him for anything. And so we've got to make these demands. We do it at the ballot box, of course, as my uncle Martin Luther King Jr. said, but then to follow through for accountability. We've got to do that in America.
On the Newsmax website today, if people go there, they will find the 100 most influential African-American Republicans, which we are proud to say that you are a part of. There are so many there. Is that the key here, though, Alveda, that the Republican Party needs to be seen as being, so many people paint them as being anti-African American, that they are totally against blacks. But when you hear people such as Jason Riley, who talked about his bestseller, Please Stop Helping Us, How Liberals Make It Harder for Blacks, that maybe they've got to push through this. You've got to get that discussion out there and make people believe that This is not a party that specifically wants to hurt the African American community. People like yourself and the other 99 here to do it every single day.
We have so much support from the conservative community now for initiatives like the Frederick Douglass Foundation. I am associated with that. African American Outreach with Priests for Life. We are just not good at our talking points. We're not saying what we do well. We fight against so many things. It's time now to say what we're for. We can overcome evil with good, but only if people know the good that we do. So I encourage you in the conservative organizations and the Republican Party, come on and let's talk about the good that we do and let people know about that.
I have to then ask you about Rudy Giuliani, the former mayor of New York, who this morning in the Wall Street Journal wrote another op-ed where he basically said, my bluntness overshadowed my message. He came out and said that the president doesn't love America. Did he go too far?
I believe he was speaking from a position of disappointment. And I would just say to the president or anyone who is seeking office, from the highest office, every office, if you love America, do good by America. Go back to the Constitution, uphold it. Equal rights should actually be for everyone. And we've got to bring that back to our communities, our families, and our children.
Does there need to be, and I'm going to, this is probably a very rhetorical question for me, but I mean, less rhetoric in many ways, because we just had congressmen on the air who talked about the fact that we need to stop blaming, we need to stop shoving things at people. There needs to be actual discussion of real issues here. Isn't that what all of America, African Americans as well, want to hear, and stop the rabid insults and this incendiary bomb throwing between everybody?
Well, I'm an elder in the land now. I'm 64 years old. We used to have a saying, put your money where your mouth is. So we need to do better by education, by housing, by employment. And we need to have programs that are going to build up our communities and our families and not destroy them. And I'm urging those who are in elected office or appointed offices, people in the various communities, in the church communities, religious freedom is very important. It should not be one-sided. And so if you don't agree with my religion or what I read in the Bible, you're going to try to keep me down or take me to court for my spiritual beliefs. We need to have respect and regard for all Americans to live together, to love each other, and to move forward.
And reminding everybody, the website is RestoreTheDream2015.com. You can read more about what Alveda King and a group are doing. Alveda, a pleasure to have you on the show once again. Thank you so much. We'll look forward to the next time, and we will continue right here on MidPoint.